SeaWorld, a fun place for families to spend quality time together, and they can see some spectacular animals and learn while they visit. I remember one time when I went with my best friend, we saw this hilarious sea lion show. They were doing funny tricks and the trainers were telling jokes and the sea lions went along with it. And I was having so much fun. But what if I tell you that all of those animals and some unfortunate trainers are not having the same kind of fun experience? SeaWorld has broken the Animal Welfare Act several times. It's honestly abuse disguised as entertainment, and it's not safe for the trainers, the animals, or the general public. Now, the Animal Welfare Act is a law that was signed in 1966 that regulates the treatment of animals in research, transportation, exhibition, and SeaWorld has broken that Welfare Act several times, numerous occasions. In a welfare investigation done by Heather Rowley, who is a veterinary researcher and scientist for the PETA Foundation, she found that dolphins at all 3 SeaWorld locations had open wounds and excessive scarring on their faces and bodies from where the trainers would stand on them while they performed. She also found that 140 dolphins were only separated into 7 different cages where other dolphins couldn't get away from frustrated or aggressive dolphins, so they would end up getting hurt. Another investigation done by the USDA, Department of Agriculture, they cited SeaWorld Orlando in Florida for violating the Animal Welfare Act again for keeping expired veterinary materials and for neglecting to repair dislodged and crumbling flooring, which animals had walked on during their performance. And they were also cited in 2007 for the same flooring issue. These things are not okay and they're not acceptable to watch or to look at. And it's cruelty in disguise as entertainment for families, for children. And unfortunately, investigators caught this on film. In a CNN film in 2013 called Blackfish, it's on Netflix, you'll have to watch it in order to see the disgraceful acts that SeaWorld has committed. We find out the exact damage the park has done to its orca whales, and we've all heard very, very bad things about the orca whales. In fact, this film cost the CEO of SeaWorld $5 million to each investor because the film showed the harm that was done to the animals and the investors were not impressed. In this film, they go through trainers who have been hurt and killed, dolphins who have had to have surgeries because their wounds were so excessive, and it also showed the beginning of SeaWorld where they would capture orca whales. One of the specific ones that they noted is in 1970 in Puget Sound, Washington, John Crow and his team went out to the ocean to capture orca whales. Howard Garrett, an orca researcher who was on that team, recalled that the hunters were using speedboats, bombs, aircrafts, and all to capture these baby whales that they took from their mom. All in all, it's very, very sad and disappointing to watch to see what somebody would do for money to an animal. And honestly, even if it's not safe for animals, it's not safe for the general public or trainers either. OSHA, which is workers' enforcement, so they don't overwork themselves or have unsafe conditions, they sued SeaWorld Orlando and said that trainers who were swimming with orcas were dangerous and you cannot predict the outcome when you go and swim with wild animals. Dave Duffus, an OSHA expert and whale researcher, said to stay out of proximity of whales because they are unpredictable and you do not know when they will attack. Unfortunately, for quite a few trainers, this has happened. One of the most prominent ones that was on the news for quite a while was Dawn Brancho, a trainer at SeaWorld who was dismembered and partly swallowed by an orca whale in 2010 during a show in front of an audience. Another time OSHA issued a fine to SeaWorld in California was in November of 2006 after a diver named Ken Peters got his foot bitten off by an orca. Again in 2006, a trainer named Keddy Barron, who honestly had the worst experience a fan could have watched, was a trainer who was drowned by 2 orcas that kept on pulling her underwater, letting her come up to breathe and pulling her down under again. And she drowned in the pool of SeaWorld in front of an audience because of those orcas. So you never know what they could do. So it's unsafe for trainers as well. Honestly, in conclusion, SeaWorld is a disgusting corporate powerhouse that has no safety for the general public. They have broken the Animal Welfare Act numerous times, and they are attracting families to spend their money on abuse disguised as entertainment. This place is no place for families, no place for children, no place for animals, and it needs to be shut down immediately. Thank you. Have a nice day.